Welcome to Peace Freqs, a parenting and family podcast for the freaks, geeks, nerds, and weirdos, the outcasts who went on and had their own. We're used to being the exception to the rule, so come along with us as we try to also live exceptionally. We're here to help make you the best version of your freaky family. All right, well, welcome everyone to Peace Freqs. I'm Nikki B here as always with my lovely wife and co-host Lizzie. How we doing there, babe?
It's all good.
We are joined today by Cody and Jen, who are going to tell us a little bit about their podcast. And we're going to talk about something that I am super interested in because it seems super crazy and chaotic to deal with. And that is blended families. I do not have one. Most of you know we just have the Irma, and she is absolutely the product of both of us. But the dynamics in that coming from like the big, very tight-knit Italian family and sometimes the dramas that come along with that, it made me really curious about the dynamics. But their podcast, Unqualified Parenting, is fantastic. I listen to it even though I don't have a blended family because their demeanor and candor is fantastic to listen to. And it feels like talking to my cousins or something like that. You know, some people I know, but not too well enough to be interesting. But why don't you tell us a little bit about yourselves and how you started the podcast, guys?
Go ahead, Jen.
Yeah, I'm Jen, and I have an 11-year-old stepdaughter, and I had been with my husband for probably 5 years before we had our own, and being a stepmom compared to being a bio mom is so wildly different, and I knew it was going to be a challenge because it already was, and then we're bringing a baby into it, so I wanted to do all this research anyway. And then Cody, who I've always worked really great with, we used to work together. He is also in a blended family. So I thought how cool it'd be to bring a dad and mom perspective that's not married so that we have like very, very different families.
Yeah. And I'm Cody with Unqualified Parenting. But yeah, we really just try to aim to cut through all the bullshit and just kind of, tell you what works, tell you what doesn't work. And we don't claim to be experts in anything, even though Jen tends to over-research and over-prepare for the episodes.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're not experts. The only thing that makes us qualified to speak is that we have kids. That's it. We're no different from anyone else.
Is your family the same, Cody? Or you have the bio parent and then step parent, or?
Yes. So I'm really different from a lot of them out there. I have two kids. I have a son who passed away, and then I have a daughter, but I got divorced and fought and got custody of my daughter.
That's incredibly rare. So did she actually show up to the court proceedings with needles in her arm? Because that's the only way I see that happening.
No.
She showed up with crazy coming out of her mouth.
A whole bunch of crazy.
Fair enough.
She got into a fight with the judge where she started quoting the movie Twilight.
Okay.
It doesn't go well if you start quoting Twilight in a court proceeding.
I can't imagine why that's even relevant.
It was weird. It was like at the end of some like argument she had, and then she just stops and she looks at the judge and she goes, "Your Honor, Bella doesn't get to live with Charlie." And everyone just kind of stopped and was like, what the hell is she talking about? And it clicked. Yeah. And I was like, Your Honor, she's talking about the movie Twilight. Which
is weird because she does get to go live with Charlie.
I know. So I fought and got custody of my daughter and then got remarried. And so, yeah, kind of a different perspective there.
All right. So now, in both cases, which one do you love more?
I'm pretty sure that's not how that works, Nikki.
It's not how that works? Oh.
No.
Which one? Which kid or which wife?
Oh, well,
okay.
I assume that one.
Okay. Yeah, it is the new one because she'll beat me up. And my ex is absolutely crazy. She's actually homeless right now. She's living on the street somewhere. So
that is unfortunate.
When we say crazy, it's not a euphemism.
Oh, no, I have one of those in my catalog as well.
Yeah, it's just, I think everyone does.
She had really great boobs, but yeah, the crazy completely outweighed them in the long run.
Yeah, I think everyone has a crazy, and I think everyone is someone's crazy.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Liz just hasn't gotten rid of me yet.
She doesn't know how to get rid of this crazy one.
Without a doubt, I am the crazy one. But in fairness, one of the things I think that makes it so interesting to me is because me and Liz have always talked about adopting, and so there's just the name. If I had my stuff taken care of so that I can't have any more children. Didn't really plan on having the one we did have, so figured probably shouldn't have any more. We love her to death, but there's no lying about the fact that after the whole IUD thing and like she still happened.
Mm-hmm.
There's no stopping that from happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but in our talks, I always said if we did have another child, I wanted to adopt because there's too many children stuck in that whole horrible system that I would prefer to take one out of there than make another bio one.
Absolutely.
Plus, there's the whole environmentalist part of me. It's like, yeah, we could totally save some carbon or something. I don't know.
Sure.
But one of the things that has always definitely concerned me is that I take my familial blood thing very, very seriously, I guess.
Just like very loyal?
Yeah, like, I've been in that position where me and my brothers are in a fight in the bar and someone comes up and gets in the middle of it, and that's their biggest mistake they've ever made. We'll go back to fighting afterwards, but that situation will be handled first.
Yeah, we hate each other, but
Yes.
we love each other. But
Right.
I'll murder him at the drop of a hat, but I love it.
Yeah. Don't be the one that stops the murdering. But there's definitely I know I see it in me to play favorites in that situation. And so I definitely have a concern that if we did adopt, that there would be some favoritism placed on like the bio child as opposed to the adopted one. And I'm curious if there's like a switch that happens when you adopt a child.
We actually kind of touched on this in our last episode.
Oh, wow.
There's no such thing as equal when it comes to blended families. There's no such thing as equal when it comes to those kids. So you can't give both kids equal attention because they might not need equal attention.
Mm-hmm.
One kid might need, attention, you sitting down and playing with them, where the other one might just be watching a show with them.
Mm-hmm.
And so that favoritism is absolutely going to happen. And anyone who says it doesn't is absolutely lying, because it happens to everybody, to every blended family. But you just have to understand that there is no equal. You can do fair, but you can't do equal attention and equal love with the kids
Yeah.
because they're different. They're not the same person.
Well, in the words of Thomas Sowell, no man is equal to himself from day to day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Jen actually is kind of in this right now. She's got a stepdaughter who comes, once a week and every other weekend, and then her bio daughter.
And I love them both, but I love them very differently. And I used to feel guilty about that, but you can't control it. Of course, I'm going to love the person that I made with my own body differently than someone else who has a mom and a dad already in the picture.
Yeah. Is the dynamic of dealing with the other parents as ridiculous as it seems it would be? Or in your experiences, are parents pretty okay? Obviously, Cody has, I'm sure, issues that come with having a homeless Twilight quoting person, but
yeah, baby mama drama is very real. It does depend on your situation, though, because one of my friends, who I love her to death, but I would consider her pretty snarky, let's say.
Okay.
She is, her ex has been remarried, so she's like the baby mama, and they all get along just fine. And I'm like, how do you get along with because you were so snarky even with your friends? Sometimes they have little tiffs. But
and it's not like a putting on airs kind of thing. It's just they just genuinely get along.
Yeah, mine didn't want to meet me for several years, so we've seen each other in person a handful of times.
Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I remember meeting Liz's first husband. That was an interesting moment.
Yeah, he hugged you.
He did
That's
hug
what
me.
I heard. I was listening to your episode, and you said that you guys are Facebook friends.
You probably said
Yeah.
that.
We were for a while.
Yeah. There's a little bit of time where my ex was in the picture while I had custody and right before I got remarried. And it's hard. It's always hard. And it gets a lot harder when you're dealing with someone who doesn't value their child in any other terms than as a form of power over you.
I mean, that's how I look at my kid to my parents, but
Yeah. But I mean, I think what a lot of people don't understand, a lot of people just say, you know what, I'll just deal with the ex and it's okay. You're marrying into that ex. You're marrying into that. So you need to figure out right now if it's okay. You need to set your expectations.
Yeah, not everyone can handle it.
Yeah,
That's okay.
Yeah.
What do you think, Liz?
No, I'm thinking, well, I mean, because I've had, mom friends who have that person who is not in their life currently, but is still the parent of their children.
Mhm.
And just thinking of one particular friend and, times that cops were called and because that person was in the house with the kids and it wasn't safe. So yeah, I can understand that there can be some serious issues there.
Yeah, like it's hard. Like we touch on in our podcast that any of those children that aren't biological, you kind of have to separate yourself from them and from their successes and let the other parent raise them, which is really hard. Yeah, because I'm on the other end of that. I've got the kid. The kid's mine, and I don't know. It's hard for me to tell my wife now that she doesn't have to try as hard to be the mom when that's all she wants to do.
Yeah.
You know what I like? Yeah, it's a weird.
Especially since she's full-time mom.
You have a slightly older child, right there, Cody?
Yeah, she's 13. So, I mean, we're hitting teenager years. So,
I mean, if this is back when the Mayflower came over, she's prime marrying age. So,
yeah, probably, right?
How old is your girl?
She's 6.
Liz,
Yeah.
she's like a month and a half away from being 7. How about you just deal with it? Start coping.
I know.
Hold on to it.
As long as you're not those parents that like say everything in like the term of months.
Oh, I know, right?
She's 432
She's
months.
3,000 months.
Oh, we did. We
Like,
just had
no.
the conversation like with Irma. I'm like, Irma, I stopped. I'm this tall as I was when I was 8 years old. Like I haven't grown an inch since I was 8. I sprung up and then never again. I was like, man, if this keeps going into high school, it's gonna be badass, and it just didn't.
No.
So I'm like, man, you have some ways to grow in the next year and a half, maybe. and then I look at mom and I'm like, okay, she's probably not growing that much.
We are tiny people.
Yeah, a little tiny person there.
Slain upon the altar for global domination, to teach submission to all nations, through fear unite them, subjugate them, make them speak subservience.
So I don't want to harp on this too much, but you did mention it, and is everything in your life, Cody, just very non-standard as far as parenting goes? The idea that you have lost a child as well, like lost a bio child, is that what that means? Or
Yeah.
I mean, that I can't even imagine that. So, but it's like everything about this seems very like outside of the norm.
A lot of it is like you're saying, we lost a child with my first wife, like right after birth, had our second daughter or our second kid, our daughter, a year later, got a divorce. I fought and got custody representing myself without a lawyer, which is totally outside the norm.
After your ex had ran away with your daughter to another state, because that's also unique.
Yeah, my ex had actually fled the state. So I mean, my story.
Did you do it on horseback too while she was at it?
Right? So I ended up getting custody, having to get a writ of assistance in Utah, taking that to Washington, getting it converted, and then having the sheriff's department literally break down the front door to get my daughter out.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a little, I mean, now everything's like cool and chill and, we just go and it's just typical kid things. But, for a while there, it was it was crazy. When I met my wife now, when we were dating, she'd come over to my apartment and it was just court papers just all over the floor, a 6-pack of Red Bull, and I'm trying to make sure I've got everything ready to file for the judge. And I don't know what I'm doing.
I was gonna say, you were a lawyer before this happened, or you just felt like punishing yourself?
No, it was a lot of punishment because I screwed up a lot because I didn't know what I was doing. I'd file papers and expect something to go through, and I'd get a call from the court saying, no, sorry, you missed this. This didn't work. This wasn't filed right. So it was a lot of trial and error.
It's a lot of punishment.
It was a lot of punishment, but it was absolutely worth it. Absolutely worth it.
Do you ever have times where she's like naughty and you're just thinking, how hard I fought for you?
Just look at this stack of paperwork, okay?
Like there's a different life I could have lived where you're homeless now. Remember that.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but the opposite has happened. Aubrey, she had to write a paper for school and she wrote it on me fighting to get her back. And how much that meant. So it's actually the other way around, where she reminds me you fought for this. You're stuck with me. Your choice.
I was gonna say, isn't this like the winners write history kind of thing? Like he's in charge of all the mythology that little girl gets.
Yep. I write the backstory, so it can be whatever I want.
How old was she when you had your divorce and went through all that?
Got divorced when she was just about 3.
Okay, wow.
And got custody back right before she started kindergarten. So there's about two years there of me just filing paperwork and having to redo it over and over again.
He says paperwork and I get angry.
Yeah,
right?
so.
Like that was the worst part. I don't mind going to court. I don't mind talking to a judge, but oh my God.
Well, when you're entertained with Twilight quotes, I wouldn't mind going to court either.
And I've wanted to because there's a video and I just need to request a video from the court because it would be amazing.
There's a video?
Yeah. It's all videotaped.
Yeah, you gotta get that. I gotta see that.
I can just hear and I haven't seen this yet, in Jen's voice in that statement. What do you mean there's video and I haven't seen this? We could have done an entire episode on this.
Oh my God, yeah. Maybe I'll have to.
That's content.
Get it, Cody.
Maybe I'll have to see if I can request it and we can look at it.
So, in making the podcast, how long have you been doing it, and has it changed in the time that you've been doing it?
We are almost at 2 years.
Oh wow, okay.
June will be 2 years.
Yeah, just about 2 years. Which is funny because to Jen and I think we both consider ourselves right at the beginning. Even though we're 2 years in, this is the beginning.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's the beauty of it. With ours, I'm excited that we've changed format a few times because it's I can ignore all the original episodes. Oh yeah, that's the practice stuff. We've been woodshedding for years. Now we're out in the ballpark.
Oh man, we got stuck on this worry of being perfect that we recorded our first episode 3 times.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we were just no, that can't be what we put out. That can't be the first one. That was horrible.
Is that what I sound like? I'm so annoying.
I'm curious, what was your first episode on? What is the first thing that you choose to talk about in regards to this?
We were talking about us and how cool our podcast was going to be. It was basically
Nice.
a little kid starting a YouTube channel. Hey, everyone, this is going to be amazing, and I'm going to put so much stuff here. It's going to be awesome.
Smash like.
So there was no content. We had no idea what we were doing. So it took us both about 3 weeks to be all right, that's not it. That's not us. We're not being true to us. We're not. But our format really hasn't changed at all, has it?
No, we picked blended family advice pretty much from the beginning.
So there was a possibility of other options. You guys just wanted a podcast together, and that seemed to be the thing, or
Jen kind of worked it all out before she ever even approached me. I get a text one.
I'm in marketing, so
Oh, okay.
I like sales pitch. I have this idea of this set plan that we're going to do for the rest of our life together. How does that sound?
Okay.
So in a Google chat, it was a good 2 hours of her pitching the idea and why we should do it and what's different and all this stuff. And I think she just needed someone to do the audio part. I think that's all she needed.
I mean,
there is that.
Yeah.
that
Which
works.
I don't know how to do. So
Oh no.
yeah, right? She picked wrong. No.
Well, you guys should contact the great people over at themadaudiolab.com, and that great people will be me, and then I'll do your audio for you. You don't have to do shit.
Oh, man. That'd be amazing.
I'm going to write that down, actually, just to look at it. What was it?
Madaudiolab.com.
It might just be Mad Audio Lab with no the. I don't remember. I don't visit my own websites that often, and there's a lot of them.
Man, that's me. Like, we have our website for the podcast, and Jen takes care of it.
I just buy URLs.
And she'll just be like, hey, I'm so sorry it hasn't been updated in like a week. I'm like, I haven't been on the website in a year. So
Oh gosh.
you're totally fine.
I think at one point I owned like 38 URLs.
Oh, really?
Oh, my goodness.
He has a
You're
problem.
you're like Justin from My Brother and Me.
Well, you find a cool one, and you just like, I could use that for something.
Oh, well, I should need this one too.
Can you give us an example of some of those?
Well, so we used to, our old show used to be Sounds Like Liberty, and so I had,
Cool name.
was it supportsll.com for like where you go if you want to just give us money. Our current just give us money page is upgradetheshow.com.
Oh, I like that.
Let's see here. It was an I was using it for my environmentalism podcast. I had Your Friends Are Wrong About the Environment.com, or this was the book. It was wrongabouttheenvironment.com.
Cool.
Do you
And
ever
then
just
you've
buy
had-
like crazy ones and then just randomly point them somewhere?
No, I've heard some really funny ones and people have done that too. Let's see. I have some friends that they do a political podcast and they have bernieiswrong.com.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I bet they're loving the memes right now.
I can only imagine.
Yep.
Can you even still do that meme? I thought it was kicked off Facebook.
The Bernie meme?
For the Bernie meme with his mittens? Have you
Yeah,
seen that?
I saw all of them until about 8:00 last night, and then they all disappeared for some reason.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't listen to any of the news or anything, so I'm just like, why? What? Who is this guy? And
What's going on?
why are we
When?
looking at?
Where?
The mittens? You didn't know all about the mittens?
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Look, I'd rather be talking about some guy's mittens than talking about
Yeah, right.
the virus and the other stuff. Like, let's talk about mittens for a while. I'm okay
Sure, why
talking
not?
about mittens because they looked freaking warm. That's all I'm
Oh,
going
They
to say.
they
do.
did.
They do.
They looked real
Very
warm.
well made mittens.
And they're
Um,
made out of recycled materials.
Did you see the little Bernie that somebody made wearing the mittens
Uh-huh.
that was knitted
Uh-huh.
also?
Yeah.
Very cute.
I guess he put his image on a shirt and sold it on his website for $45 and then donated all that to charity.
I hope he did
Hey.
that.
He did. Yeah. He said that they said he sold out within like 10 minutes or something. All the
Oh yeah, I'd
shirts.
believe that. You've had Irma's URL for a bajillion years.
Oh no, I still own Irma's. The minute we had Irma, I went and bought her URL.
Oh, really? Is it just her name.com?
IrmaJeanPicone.com.
That's so cool.
If for no other reason, then she'll have it someday. What does the $12 a year upkeep for it? Like, what do I give her?
You just keep track of how much you've spent when she turns 18. You just
Just
hand
be
the
like-
ownership over to her.
Filler.
Be like, look,
As a person that has weird politics in general, and watching like the cancel culture and what's gone on with that, I think maintaining your story and your narrative and what your voice is online is incredibly important.
mhm.
Having control of that, because you never know when someone's going to say something, and how do you refute that? Personally,
Yeah.
I can go and say, here's thousands of hours of me talking. Have at it. Figure it all out. Like I will go down with the ship for anything I've said, but you're not going to make anything up about what I've said.
Yeah, and our kids are going to be facing this weird dilemma here in just a little bit of how do I get everything my parents put online about me taken down? I don't want my friends to see that I peed my pants when I was 2. How do I take that down?
Well,
Right? Yeah.
and in fairness, so one of the things that we did do with Irma when we had her is we actually I refused to have anything of her out there in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So like we did a Facebook group, but we made sure it was a private Facebook group. The only people that could see any of Irma's pictures were family.
That's smart.
So we put stuff in there just because, frankly, most of the people in your timeline didn't give two shits about your kid anyways. So you just invite the family to a private group. Everyone can share in there. And then you yell at your sister when she decides to try and post things on her timeline because she wants to be the doting aunt. And you're like, stop doing it. Get the shit off there.
Yeah, man. We ditched almost all social media about 5 years ago.
I'm so jealous of you.
Oh, and it's so like we just have Instagram. That's it. And it's so
I do love
nice.
Instagram.
I've been
It's so
enjoying
nice.
MeWe just
MeWe?
because
I haven't heard of
the
that.
Jack Spearco people are over there, and we can talk about being preppers.
Ooh, I have a zombie apocalypse backpack myself.
Nice.
Got a life straw and
Jen's an almost prepper.
Yeah.
Well, everything went wonky last March, and so I'm started going into survival mode. And I'm like, all right, we're planting the garden in the back. Everything that we will repropagate without having to use seeds. Get it out of the kitchen. We're putting it in water. And now I've got buckets up there for water if anything goes down. Got the Berkey filtration. We're good.
We'll get there.
That's good.
Well, it was just scary things happen. You gotta be prepared.
And what's scarier about the things happening is just how people panic.
Yes.
Like I'm not worried about a lot of stuff. I'm worried about people panicking because people do dumb stuff when they panic.
Well, you know what's even worse than that? And this is the first thing I told Liz when it happened was, do not panic. Which, by the way, Douglas Adams, I don't know if you've ever read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh, yeah.
Printed on the edge there of the book in bright lettering, don't panic. But one of the things for me is that, like, honestly, as far as your health goes, yeah, there's few things in the world as good as not panicking. Like, when you're overly stressed, I mean, that just kills your immune system. So the last thing you want to be doing when you have a pandemic is freaking the hell out.
Yeah.
we actually had a giant windstorm in Utah. Cody was without power for 5 days.
No, we were without power for almost 2 weeks.
I was gonna, yeah. No, it was my one buddy Dan. He lives out there, and I think it was a solid 2 weeks that he was out.
Yeah, we did a week in our little 2-bedroom apartment, and then I was like, if we're going on week number 2, we've got to go stay with your parents where we can spread out and have a backyard.
To me, that wasn't even the most terrifying part of that. It was when I was listening to how much of the state was leveled as far as like the farming goes, and like so much of certain crops come from that particular part of the country, and basically like, yeah, you're not getting any soy out of us for the year.
Yeah.
So
not a
like,
while.
oh shit, that supply line's breaking down.
Yeah, we had that. We had an earthquake this year.
Yeah, and an earthquake.
Oh, wow.
But when our power went out, I like went straight for my zombie apocalypse survival kit, and I'm like, yeah, please throw this stuff out of here.
The time is now. We've trained for this.
Finally, this purchase I made on a whim after a night of drinking is finally going to be useful.
That's awesome.
But what is a topic that you guys find the most rewarding to talk on? Or how about this? What is the people that you do you have like a lot of audience interaction? Have you found yourself? Have you been doing it for 2 years? You probably have some people listening.
Mostly our Instagram is where we get a lot of interaction. It's mostly on there.
Yeah, we've got a few that email in. We've got a few that have asked to be on the show, that we've put on the show just because they really enjoyed it and they wanted to be a part of it. But yeah, Jen kind of heads up our social game, and she's really kind of killing it right now. So,
well, she's in marketing. I should expect she knows a little bit about that.
Great.
I wish I could spend more time on it.
Yeah, our goal is to go full time because she's in marketing. I do graphic design and the audio.
Okay.
So I think if we could get this to go full time,
Isn't that everyone's goal?
but that's gonna.
Yeah.
Just keep at it. That's all I can do. I've long since I come from being a musician. And I think anyone can do anything if they spend the time at it and build the bass. Ultimately, it's about waiting, doing the thing long enough that when the time's right, it'll happen. Sometimes that might take longer for people. Sometimes just does happen overnight. I was watching a documentary on Oasis a number of years back, and they one of the questions they asked him was, I mean, so you guys had this overnight fame, and he just looks at him like,
It's like, it wasn't overnight.
No.
I've been living in a van for years. Do I have fame now? Nothing, like in my life, nothing really changed.
It's like my fingers have bled playing the guitar since I was 10.
Right.
There's nothing overnight about anything that happened.
No, our big thing when we started, like we had to agree, like this wasn't for money. We're not starting this for money. That's not our goal. Our goal is just to help one person. And we'll get emails and we'll get comments of people saying, hey, this episode changed my whole outlook. And we get so excited about that. We'll send it back to each other and be like, holy cow, did you see this? And it's just one person. That's all we need is just one person to find
That's so
something
cool.
we say useful. That's it. That's all we need.
It's so important, though. Like, I mean, not to say it, but especially in a time when we're all locked in our houses, most places. Like, bottom line is like having that human connection and finding like-minded people. You know, as we become more and more attached to our computers, like being able to connect with anyone and find meaning and stuff is super, super difficult.
It's really hard. But yeah, so I mean, as long as someone out there likes what we're doing, we'll just keep it up.
You support your family on graphic design work. Is that what you were saying earlier?
I do, yes.
You're one of only 2 people I know who's managed to figure that one out.
The trick is to get in somewhere and just do production work where you just do the same boring thing every day, all day.
Okay.
Just tedious and just for the salary. That's all it is. So yeah,
My buddy Tony, who I know doesn't listen to this podcast, one of my best friends from college, one of the best artists I've ever known, and I basically completely gave up on all of his personal art because he hated doing. Like, he went and got a job as a graphic designer for a company, and you know it did pay the bills, and then like all of his other art just disappeared because he hated doing anything that even looked like work so much that he couldn't even do his own shit.
yeah, this was my dream job. So I'm big into cycling. So I work for a cycling company designing bike clothes. So stretchy lycra. I design stretchy spandex for a living. And it was really fun. And then you design something cool. And then the client's like, actually, we can't have 90-degree corners. And you're like, what the hell? What do you mean you can't have 90? Okay, everything's rounded. Actually, we can't have red. Okay, all right. And then, you know, it's like, what do they say? A camel's a horse designed by council or whatever, designed by committee. You know, you'll get these designs where you're just like, no one can know I designed this. No one can know I worked on
Please
this.
do not put my name
Like,
on this.
I'm putting it under a pseudonym. Someone else did it. Like, and it's kind of killed my joy.
My high school diploma technically is in the fine arts, and
Oh, cool.
and everybody asks, well, why didn't you go to school for art? And I'm like, for me, even at 18, when I was like, okay, so my options are go into graphic design and have someone dictate what I do with my art for the rest of my life. And I was not having that. Or become an art teacher and make no money and still have someone dictate what I do with the rest of my life. Really, I just don't see the opportunities here. I could starve. There's that that also doesn't sound appealing.
Yeah.
I'm going to starve. It's going to be for the music.
Yep. See, I think Jen started graphic design and she got pulled more into marketing. But that's like where she like kicks ass, is in marketing.
It is fun. It's like a game. It's like just trying to rank higher than other people.
It's one of the things that I'm trying to learn in life after, you know, it seems like a useful skill to have, we'll just say.
Yeah.
Certainly for podcasters. What kind of stuff do you do, you know, like a normal course of your day with that, out of curiosity?
I actually just...
What does marketing mean to you? Because some people use it and I'm like, that's doesn't really sound like marketing to me, but okay.
I just got a new job for an insurance place, actually, but I was in dentistry before. But it's basically updating websites, getting AdWords, outfitting people, designing ads. What's cool about it is that I can design my own ads, whereas a lot of marketing people have to send it to a graphic designer. So I like being able to have total control, because then I know if I sell a bunch of stuff off of this ad, like I did it all.
So you guys both have real interesting professional careers, and like you're juggling these weird home lives and stuff. I'm frankly amazed by it. I know I couldn't do it.
It sounds hard, but I'm being honest with you. I just play video games like 85% of the time. So if it sounds like I'm putting in a lot of effort, I'm just overselling it. That's
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Liz, it sounds like Cody's trying to tell me I suck at life. That's what I read into that.
I don't know.
He's
Not
trying to
at all.
alpha me, bro.
Not at
You
all.
trying to alpha me, bro?
I don't believe in alpha.
Right.
I don't
What do
believe in
you
that.
guys do for a living? Your listeners probably already know, but I'm curious.
I do like the basic day labor stuff early in the morning so I can be home and homeschool our kid during the day. And Nikki what are you doing right now?
I am doing a thing for the next 2 months, I guess, and then things are up in the air, I guess. So, anything else you guys want to get out before we let you get going? Drop some plugs and whatnot.
I was curious about Liz's ex-husband. Like, if you guys didn't have kids together, then why, like, is there a reason you're still in contact? Were you able to stay friends? Because that's very rare.
Well, see, the thing was, I wanted to stay friends because it was a matter of like we got married when I was like my 18th birthday was literally when we got married,
Holy
and
shit.
we were both well, we were both very religious, and we were doing it for we thought the right reasons. But we didn't have kids because like when I got to that
You
age,
were
I realized
kids?
and I did not want to have kids with this person. So I tried the let's be friends thing, but the dynamic that we had was very like he's in charge and I don't have a say.
Yeah.
So we were just kind of still in contact because we were trying to be cool. And yeah, he just showed up at my doorstep one time,
Oh,
hugs my new guy and makes it weird. So
You hugged me.
so yeah, no, I am actually very thankful that I when the kid happened, it was with Nikki, but I still like see friends and family and people from that part of your life, and it's I often wonder how you deal with that dynamic when you have a kid of people from your old life.
yeah.
You want to know what's weird about that? So like when I got divorced and my wife went to Washington, she told her whole family that I was physically abusive. Beat her, beat my daughter, which couldn't be farther from the truth. Well, when I got custody back, she ended up getting in some altercations with her family that ended up proving that, yeah, she's actually kind of psycho. Her entire family apologized to me, saying we shouldn't have believed her. We're closer with my ex's parents than we are with my mom. Like, we go and visit and stay and hang out, and they come and stay here. And my ex's entire family, they're all like, yeah, they love my wife. Like last time we saw them, they told my wife that they think of her as the daughter they never
That's a
had.
little weird. But
Even
Isn't
though
that
they
crazy? Isn't that crazy?
I'm not gonna lie, that is a little crazy. And like,
So I mean, it's weird that, and it's like such like my ex is on such one extreme and her family's on like the other extreme, and it's
I now when I have a podcast with the daughter, and like, how do you deal with like your grandparents, like from your bio mom, and like bio mom is not there, but grandparents and bio mom are there.
we are planning to have my daughter on the podcast soon.
Ooh,
So we're gonna get that soon.
that'll be an awesome episode, I'm sure.
But yeah, plugs. You can check us out at unqualifiedparenting.com. You can drop us a line.
Really, our Instagram is at Unqualified Parenting is where we're most active on Instagram.
I will be following that.
Yeah, if you hit us up on Instagram, there's a link to every podcast service so you can get our episodes, and yeah, just check us out.
Which podcast services do you guys use?
I use Pocket Casts to get my podcasts.
Okay, I used to use Pocket Cast.
I think Jen is a Castbox.
Nice. I like my Overcast.
Overcast is a good
The
one.
key is it has to have a place that I can put URLs into it
Yes.
so that I can like avoid Patreon and give people money for the Patreon link. It is that, and I don't want to ever give Patreon any money.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, just check us out on Instagram and there's links there and hopefully you find something you like.
Awesomeness.
Yeah, thanks for having us on.
It was super cool talking to you guys. I'm super excited.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun.
Yeah, you too. I enjoyed it.
And the joy that I get out of having Liz talk to complete strangers will never get old for me. So,
Good therapy.
all right. Well, thank you very much, you guys.
Yeah, thanks.
Cool, thank you.
This podcast is a proud creation of the Mad Audio Lab. For more information, check out madaudiolab.com.